Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel and we talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you've come to the right place and we're happy to have you here today. And today we're going to talk about Season 2, Episode 3 of Peacemaker. This will be our spoiler review for that episode, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so I've been enjoying this series a lot because it is closer to what the Peacemaker comics are now. But those Peacemaker comics came out after James Gunn had already changed the character. Kind of like he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, and that team became the team. So it's kind of like that type of scenario here. Now, Peacemaker was taken from obscurity and changed into what we know him today. But it was a slow process. Originally, he was a lot more heroic than what he was in other editions and other origins. But James Gunn has taken that and spun that completely out of control to where now Peacemaker is more a person that's struggling to be who he feels he needs to be, because he struggles with all these addictions and all these horrible things and his violent streak when it comes to the bad guys. But the thing of that is that the comic that you have out now of Peacemaker is this type of comic. It is this Peacemaker. Now, there are differences, of course, because you're never going to actually get the exact version that you see in a comic book. It's just never going to happen that way. Comic books tell stories way too quick. They might have a long story arc that they're going through, but they actually tell these stories very quickly, very rapidly. And you have to have an entire comic book that kind of has a beginning, middle, and the end, at least until the next one, or a beginning, a middle, and a cliffhanger. And with a series, you can do that more so, but with a movie, you can't. So usually you don't have exact replicas of the comic book characters for that reason. All right, so let's jump into Season 2, Episode 3, and there will be spoilers from this point on. So if you haven't seen the show yet, if you haven't caught up, go ahead, catch up. We'll wait right here. Okay, so now let's get into it. So Season 2, Episode 3 opens up by canonizing not just the original Suicide Squad movie, but James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie as well. And how does it do this? Rick Flag is actually dating Amelia when Peacemaker meets him. So they don't know this yet. Now, he's talking about how he's dating the Enchantress, and he's worried that if he stops dating her, that she's going to do something drastic, essentially. And Amelia's kind of like, well, you have to tell her, but you have to go on this mission first. So this mission here is the mission that actually kills Rick Flag Jr. because this is the mission with Peacemaker. So what ends up happening is that's our cold opening, and then it jumps into present day. And when it jumps into present day, Peacemaker goes to meet Amelia at Argus. But before he does this, he's talking to his brother. He's trying to figure out where she works. Hey, where does she work? How do I get there? So he don't know where this world's Argus is for sure. And he makes it into a game where he says, quiz. And, pretty much, he's like making it into a game where he's asking him questions and seeing if his brother gets the right answer. Of course, his brother knows the right answer. So then he says to his brother, can I borrow your car? And the brother says, why don't you take your Peace Cycle? So he goes out to the garage. He's got a Peace Cycle. He's like, this is wonderful. This is the best world ever. He goes to Argus and he meets up with Amelia. Now, this is where things get strange, because in this world, in this dimension, Rick Flag Jr. is alive. Rick Flag Jr. is alive in this dimension. So now, here's the thing. He's also kind of a klutz and maybe not the best guy because you instantaneously get this jealous vibe from him, and you get the feeling that he, like everyone else, is sort of making fun of Peacemaker when he's talking to him. There's something condescending like in his tone, but it could just be outright jealousy too. It's just something that I picked up on where I instantaneously just don't like the guy. And maybe that's because Peacemaker is our hero of this series too. So he convinces Amelia to go on a lunch date. And while they're on their lunch date, the Sons of Liberty crash their party, essentially. They're trying to blow up this one building. So all of a sudden there's this explosion and Peacemaker goes into action. And this sort of sets him back in a lot of ways because he's really going at it, doing all this violent stuff. This is his John Wick moment in this episode. And I say this because at one point he even uses a pencil. That's right. How's that for your John Wick reference? And get this. He takes these guys out in such a methodic way that it actually works out so cool. This is such a great episode for him, but it also serves another purpose. This episode shows exactly how he views this world, how he views this dimension, and the superiority that he feels in this dimension versus how he feels about his own, because everyone's cheering him on. From the time he's riding to meet her at work at Argus to the time they go on their lunch, everything about this whole universe that he's in, this whole dimension he's in now, everything about it is perfect to him. Not only does he have a chance with the girl he loves, but he is loved. And they don't even seem to care that he took everybody out in a violent way. Now, his brother actually ends up helping, and it's brutal. It is absolutely brutal, but they seem to enjoy this in this world. So right there, this world isn't the same as the world he came from, because they're not looking at the violence like, oh no, this is horrible. They're looking at it like, yes, these are our heroes. These are the ones we need. So basically, he doesn't see this because in his mind, he's respected, he's loved. So he actually gets to hug her and he's all like, this is the greatest dimension ever. But what he doesn't know is during this time, John has been recruited to go and help, go to his house, and they're gonna look at what he's been doing. They're gonna know about these dimensional doors. They're gonna lock this whole thing down, and he's probably not getting back into this world. Essentially, that's what they want you to think. So what happens though are guys that went last time with Eagly having his whole John Wick moment, and he took them out really easily. Well, they have an eagle hunter this time. And it is Red St. Wild. And not only that, they actually bring in Judo Master. Now, Judo Master is going to be teaming up with John because why not? And they go to the house. And as they go to his house, he's coming out of the other dimension and going back into his house. Now, that's where this episode ended. So the preview hints that they're going to be on the run. I'm fine with that. I don't think you're going to be on the run too long. I think he's going to retreat back into that other dimension. That's kind of what they hint at in the preview. Now, the thing is that he doesn't realize just how much this dimension is not his. And I think that's something he has to learn, that this dimension is not his. It's like I've been saying this whole time. This is about him learning that there's no place like home. I really did enjoy this episode a lot, and I wanted to know what you guys thought of it. So make sure you're leaving me that comment in the comment box below. Make sure you share this video with all of your friends. We're all fans just having a conversation, so you're gonna want to comment and share. And then make sure you hit that like button if you like the positive content we're bringing you, because it tells the algorithm that that's the type of content you wanna see. So that's important too. And if you're liking our stuff, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss a single video we do. Then friends, at the end of the day, I know it and you know it, fandom is family.